Hello everybody, welcome to the NPTEL course on Customer Relationship Management. This is Dr. Shagata Chatterjee from Vijayasum IIT Kharagpur who is taking this course for you. We are discussing co-creation, and in this particular thing I will conclude co-creation topic as a part of CRM and will come to that directly. So, we have discussed quite a few things about co-creation in this here, and the last thing that we were discussing were that co-creation was a shift from IT mindset to product mindset. So, what is exactly the product mindset? So, co-creation is now more than a way to involve customers in developing customer facing products. It is not exactly only customer is not exactly producing a new product is only the important factor. Today, co-creation is about involving every player in the ecosystem. It is not only the customers, your supply chain partners, your resellers, your employees, your retail partners, everybody should come into this I would say product or experience making process. One easy example we have is Apple Watch. Apple Watch is one of the major product that is coming up in the personal wellness category in the electronic sector. Apple collaborates continuously with an entire ecosystem of to develop features. So, that ecosystem not only includes customers, but also physicians and many other stakeholders like insurance companies and etc. So, healthcare institutions are working with Apple to use the watch for their clinical work. So, they know that how heart rate and probably the traveling or walking or sedentary lifestyle, how these things are related with each other. An example being John Hopkins, where physicians provide epilepsy patients this watch to track their seizures, possible triggers, medications and side effects. So, sometimes continuous monitoring is needed and Apple Watch can do some amount of continuous monitoring. Corporations and insurance companies are working with Apple to make Apple Watch an effective choice as a way to offset skyrocketing cost of healthcare. So, healthcare costs are increasing, the insurance companies are facing problems. So, why don't they are actually offering this Apple Watch to their customers, so that if they starts using Apple Watch can track their lifestyle and etc. So, if they are become more health conscious, that will reduce the costs of the insurance companies. So, they are encouraging customers to use Apple Watch, sometimes they offer them. Another example of co-creation and CRM, when it is more focused on the customer relationship management process, is another example for Apple. I would say that Apple retail stores. If you go to a retail store, they have a design aimed at customers to play with that product. So, often various other stores do not let customers play with that product, but here they allow the customers to use it. So, that experience mindset is very important, as they would use them if they owned. A step ahead for product mindset. So, to create a very homely atmosphere where you can go and see it and use this particular, you can listen to music, you can probably see a video in the iPad and etc. Customers can try different products while the employees are around to help you only when you want them to help. So, they do not poke the nose always, they are there, but if you only need them to help, then only they will come to help. So, that kind of homely atmosphere they are giving to the customers, so that customers can know that okay, this is a product, this is classically a product which has all these product features and etc., but that experience matters, and that also leads to a co-creation where they are creating the retail process collaboratively. So, the helping persons is not creating the retail experiences, the retail experience is created by the customers themselves. They can do whatever they want, whatever reasonable they want within the retail store. Apple Store Associates are trained to walk customers through 5 distinct service steps. So, this is something that has been told to them, which beautifully spells out to the acronym Apple. A for approach customers with a personalized warm welcome. P for politely to understand the customer's needs. Then present a solution for customer to take home today on that day. Listen for and resolve issues or concerns, and E for end with fond farewell and invitation to return. So, this is a setup certain standardized steps that has been told to the retail persons how to handle the customers. Now, what is important here in the co-creation process is that the whole experiences is not led by the, if you go to many other retail stores, though there is an open environment, though you can choose and see and this and that, oftentimes you will see in other kind of product stores, the product description, the demonstration of the product is often led by the seller in let us say if you go to the mobile store, or if you go to any normal mobile store company rather than a big Apple store. So, you will see that the product demonstration, which are franchises or dealers of various kind of retail stores, the product demonstration are led by the shop owner or the employees in the shop. But here the product demonstration and the experiential retailing is being done, encouraged to be done by the customers themselves. So, that is also important in the co-creation process. Apple do not want its customers to think it is retail stores, they do not want that kind of a setup in the, that kind of a psychology in your mind to be playing. So, it has removed the store word, the word called store in all their stores. They have written Apple rather than Apple Store Valley Fair, they have written Apple Valley Fair or Apple, Koramangla rather than Apple Store Koramangla. So, Apple Store, the store term they have removed now, just to make sure that customers do not even think that this is a store. This is not a store. You can come, you can use Apple, it is almost like it is Apple, that is all. The whole experience is Apple, not the product is Apple. So, companies' new stores are more about enriching customers' lives than simply selling these items. The company called these stores as town squares. So, this is something that is a very, I would say, very much modern approach to co-creation in the context of CRM. So, co-creation and CRM, there is, you have to bring in the community aspect as Apple was doing. So, what are the other things that they have done to bring in the community aspect in it? So, one is that they have created boardrooms, which visiting entrepreneurs may use to meet up and discuss their ideas. So, you have created in the Apple store a boardroom where entrepreneurs can come and discuss. They do not even own an Apple product, they do not even arrive there to buy a Apple product, does not matter, still you can use my boardroom. So, what happens is you have a community kind of feeling that Apple is doing something good for the community. So, by using their resources, by using their products, I also am doing something good for the community. So, when some of the budding entrepreneurs will become a influencer rather from being an entrepreneur, he will actually promote or I would say patronize Apple a lot. So, that is why they have created boardrooms open for everybody. You can come, do your meeting and go away. Hour of code workshops. So, for kids teaching Apple programming language Swift. So, they teach the kids of various colleges and schools the language called Swift, which is used in Apple for, so they are doing coding workshops. Teachers Tuesdays, that is also have done, which are designed to help and educate working teachers on how they can better incorporate technology in their classroom. So, how Apple products can be used there in the classroom, for that free Teachers Tuesdays workshops are being arranged. And the creative pros who are employed for the sole purpose of teaching customer skills, such as how to make better pictures with the iPhone's camera. So, somebody is using iPhone camera and etc. They are having creative pros kind of workshops, which is basically creative professionals who are basically employed, so that they can teach the customers how to take better pictures. So, a customer who is not coming to buy a product, he is owning an Apple product, he can come to the Apple store and he can learn how to take better pictures, because for quite some time, if you have remembered, there were big hoardings in Indian cities like Bangalore, Mumbai, big hoardings, and at the bottom it was written that this picture has been taken in an Apple phone, and it is a very beautiful picture. So, how that pictures can be taken in that? So, that is a campaign that they did to encourage this creative pros, so that people use, rather than buying DSLR, they are saying that you do not have to buy a DSLR, you can use an Apple phone. Now, for many people, buying a iPad or Apple phone at a price of 75,000 or 1 lakh is very costly. They, for the purpose of phone is not something that they value a lot, but they might be a professional, or if not professional, probably a amateur photographer, and they are ready to pay around 35-40,000 rupees or probably more for a DSLR camera. Now 40,000 for DSLR camera, 40 and another 20,000 or 30,000 for a smartphone, good quality smartphone. If you combine them together, you get an Apple product, and if the Apple product can actually serve both the purposes, then that is a very good bundle. So, that kind of a motivation they had, and they have created this Creative Pros for just to teach people how to take good pictures using an Apple phone. So, that is also very innovative customer relationship management idea, where co-creation is involved. Why co-creation is involved? Because until and unless the customers comes in and want to create experiences for them, like learning codes or taking how to take pictures, you cannot sell them the product. So, that co-creation of experience is important, and that they understood, and that is why they have taken a product specific focus to a experience specific, co-creation specific focus, which is a very nice step towards marketing their products. Another example is Nestle. Nestle transformed its call centers to insight generator with the use of co-creation. How? In 2005, they CRM as dialogue, that is an initiative that they have started. What they did is, agents were allowed to be more relaxed and happy. Agents means the BPO agents actually were trained to active listening and probing mindset. So, what kind of thing? Often agents will get up to the center of the room, write down insights. Someone from the product development group and interactive team will glean on the insights, and in something caught their attention, they will explore it further. And employees were rewarded by the best co-created insights. So, the same thing that they did for 24/7 and Nestle, more or less similar, that they allowed the customers to create insights for them. What are the benefits of co-creation? It has been seen for the last probably 1 decade. So, Hitachi Europe has created a report recently that 58% of business have piloted co-creation projects to help them innovate, and 51% say that co-creation has improved their financial performance. So, that is a big number, and 54% say that it has helped improve their social impact. So, if many people are getting the benefits of co-creation, that is actually something that can be used by various other companies when they are handling customer relationships. Customers are looking for a different type of relationship with the suppliers, says Hitachi's vice president. They want shared innovation, shared development, and potentially even shared engagement and ownership of the outcome of the project. So, they want their say, and they want their the development process, in the innovation process, they want their say, and also in the outcome they want to have their say, that whatever is there, I want a shared ownership of that. So, that kind of relationship is coming up to be very common in today's world, which is a part of CRM and co-creation, which comes together, and that is why it is a very important topic. We have to read, so it is still in a developing stage in terms of a knowledge creation process. We have to read and understand, and we have to study a lot, but this co-creation as a term is becoming very important in today's world. So, that is all. These are the references for various papers and links that from where these resources have been taken. Thank you very much. That is the end of week 1. I will see you in week 2 with a new topic. Thank you very much for being in this video.